Hey guys, this is Comic Uno, and today I'm doing a review for The Unworthy Thor issue 1. And before I start talking about this issue, just want to give you guys a couple of updates. Of course, I have Comic Uno episode 168, and that's show or review all the comics I read this week in one show. So if you want to go check that out, that'll be annotated and posted Friday, and the exclusive comics for that show are in the description below. But let's start talking about The Unworthy Thor issue 1. So I actually kind of picked up this book on whim, because I've been really enjoying The Mighty Thor, because I've just been really enjoying Jane Foster as Thor. But before that, I was never a huge Thor fan. Never really picked up his comic, and yeah, I just never really enjoyed his stuff. So I even read some of the like Marvel Now, the actual original Marvel Now stuff, and I couldn't get into it. But let's see if I enjoyed Unworthy Thor. Really great cover here. Love the attention to detail. We have the hammer, just beautiful cover. And the interior artwork, if you enjoy Russell Doderman's art style for the Mighty Thor, it's a very similar art style to this, and it's Oliver Coipel who does the art for this book. And I really like that it's similar to The Mighty Thor, but it's darker, which works because this is a darker story. I will say there's points where there's some smudgy artwork towards the end, and that's like some of the background characters, like here, about like when we saw Beta Ray Bill's a little smudgy with the black, I guess, inking, and again, the darker coloring, but overall, really good artwork. But let's see what's going on with the story. So with this issue, it's pretty much focusing on Thor feeling unworthy. It's very much about the title. He's fighting trolls. He's kind of down on the dumps, really. But then he finds out from one of these mysterious members from Original Sin, finally some of these events are becoming relevant, where the person from Original Sin says there's another hammer because of Secret Wars, so we get to see even more relevancy of these events. So Thor rushes to Asgard and finds that Asgard's not there. And finds his friend Beta Ray Bill, and Beta Ray Bill is willing to give his hammer up for his friend, and that is the end of the issue. We'll see if Thor actually accepts or if he doesn't. But I was really surprised by this book, because like I said, I'm not a huge Thor fan. The reason I like Jane Foster as Thor, because it felt a little bit more grounded, because it's a human character who is Thor. So for me, it was a little easier to get into. But with Odin's son, again, it's just a character I could never read on his own. Like, I liked him in Avengers and stuff, but he was never one of my favorite characters. But here, what I liked about this book is that it does feel grounded. It feels personal, and that's the part I really enjoyed the most here. Because I always like stories where you get into characters' heads, especially just characters trying to find their worthiness, and that is the biggest theme here. Thor is down on the dumps. He's not who he was. He's not a god anymore. He doesn't know who he is as a person without being Thor. And I really can't wait to see this journey. I honestly hope that this book is more about Thor or Odin's son finding himself as a person, and I guess just as Odin's son compared to as Thor. Like, what is he as a character without the hammer? I hope he doesn't get the hammer right away. I want this to be a personal journey, where I think issue 1 kind of sets that up. He's down on the dumps now. Of course, I would love to see Odin's son get the hammer in the end, but let's see that personal journey. And I hope that's what the series is about. Something I was also really surprised about that I alluded to during my summary of the book is that the events that we read were actually relevant in this book. We had a Secret Wars reference and Original Sin. So if you read those books, you feel like, oh, finally, payoff, yes! So there is payoff to those series, and and you don't feel lost. I don't feel like you'd feel lost if you didn't read those stories. It's just kind of more of a mention. But I was happy, because I haven't really seen a book do that. especially with Original Sin and Secret Wars. I feel like it's more forgotten, especially with the 9-month gap, than anything else. So very happy that they mentioned that here. And also I feel like this issue is very much the payoff of the slow burn that Jason Aaron's been doing with Thor, both Jane Foster's story and Odin's son. I hope Jane Foster does show up somehow in this book. I don't want her to like overshadow the book, but we haven't really seen Odin's son and Jane interact that much, so even if it's in her own book, I would really like to see a crossover with that. It's actually a shame that this is only a mini-series. I wish it wasn't ongoing, because I feel like there's so much potential for so much more story to tell, again, with the unworthiness that Thor feels. So overall, I thought it was a really solid issue, and I was pleasantly surprised, and again, I'm not even a big Thor fan, and I really enjoyed this issue. So Unworthy Thor gets 4 stars. I thought it was a really solid start to the book, and I'm looking forward to more. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. This is Comic Uno. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, in the description below, there are links for my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter, and don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.